Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Audie Jake and this is Autistic Reviews, the series where I review media with autistic characters on the basis of how good of a representation of autism it is. Today I will be reviewing the new character named Bruno from the TV show Thomas and Friends All Engines Go. First, some background information. Thomas and Friends is a reboot of the long-running children's TV show Thomas and Friends, which ran from 1984 until 2021. Which it was actually a surprise to me to learn when researching for this video that Thomas and Friends ran for so long. I remember this show from my childhood, but I never realized that it was still on the air. On the chance that you're not familiar with the franchise, Thomas and Friends follows the adventures of an anthropomorphized train named Thomas and all his friends on the islands of Sodor. Forgive me if I didn't pronounce that right, I'm not super familiar with the franchise. The reboot has a different animation style, and it's supposed to follow a younger Thomas and Friends. It first aired on September 13th, 2021, and is still airing to this day. The character we will be reviewing today is named Bruno. He's a new artistic train that has been added to the show as of Season 2. Bruno is a red caboose, and you can take away my autism badge because I know pretty much nothing about trains. Google says that a caboose is a railroad car with accommodations for the train crew, typically attached to the end of the train. The episode I'm reviewing in particular today is called Shake, Rattle, and Bruno. In the US, it was Bruno's premiere episode. In this episode, there's an urgent delivery that needs to be made, so one train named Diesel is assigned to get there fast, and Bruno is told to go with him to keep him safe. Diesel doesn't listen to Bruno when he tries to warn him that the path he's taken is prone to avalanches. Diesel tries to outspeed the falling rocks, but Bruno applies his brakes to keep them safe from being crushed. As a result, they are surrounded by rocks on either side of them. By working together, Bruno and Diesel are eventually able to clear the rocks away and finish their delivery. So, what do I like about this character? Well, first of all, Bruno has already appeared in several Season 2 episodes, besides just his premiere episode, which says to me that they are committed to making him a regular addition to the cast. This already fixes a big issue I already have with a lot of these autistic characters in young children's media. A lot of the time, they have an episode when an autistic character is introduced, where they teach the A-listic main character about autism. The main character learns a lesson that you should accept people who are different, and then the autistic character is almost never seen again. The autistic character often feels more like a plot device than a character in their own right when this happens. So, I love Bruno's sense of humor. At several points in the episode, he's made jokes based on train-related puns that were kind of amusing to me. There's a bit of a stereotype that autistic people are all humorless and don't understand jokes, and it's nice to see a character with such a specific sense of humor. I also really like how Bruno tries to cheer up Diesel during the situation when they're trapped. He starts talking about the train schedule, and when Diesel says that he doesn't want to talk about the schedule right now, Bruno replies, "I think that you're feeling sad, and I like to talk about the schedule when I'm feeling sad, so I don't know what to do." This is definitely relatable. A lot of the time, you can tell that someone else is feeling sad, we don't have like the social knowledge of what to do to make someone feel better. And Bruno defaulting to what makes him feel better and being confused as to what to do when that doesn't work was a nice moment, I felt like. There's also several instances of Bruno taking things other people say literally, such as when he says, "What do you mean you're too fast? You're not moving." Or when Thomas says that Diesel can certainly be a steamroller, and Bruno gets confused because Diesel doesn't have a steam engine. There was also a moment where Bruno was happy that he figured out a solution to get them untrapped. And the little flaps, sorry, I don't know the term for it, on the left and right side of his body, started moving up and down rapidly. And I was thinking maybe that was supposed to be a train's form of hand flapping. It could just be a coincidence, but if it's not, then I really like it. And another detail that I really liked was that when Bruno and Deezer are executing their plan to escape, Bruno has on a pair of earmuffs to block out the loud noise. The episode is also very accessible, which you guys know I love. Shake, Rattle, and Bruno was uploaded entirely and for free on YouTube, which is where I watched it for this review. But finally, the show went out of its way to hire an actual autistic actor for the part of Bruno. He was voiced by an autistic actor named Chuck Smith, and they had autistic people on board for every step of the writing of the character. Plus, ASAN was involved rather than a bad group like Autism Speaks. According to this Deadline article I found, it said, the new character was announced by Mattel Television, which developed Bruno in collaboration with the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network and Easter Sears Southern California, as well as writers and spokespeople with autism. And the article also had this to say, Zoe Gross, director of advocacy of the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, said, the most important aspect of Bruno's development was getting autistic input throughout the process of creating the character and his interactions with his world. Autistic people have been involved in all aspects of creating Bruno, from us as consultants to writers on the show, and Bruno's voice actor. This makes Bruno ring true as an autistic character. As for what I didn't like, there wasn't really much, honestly. I did notice that they didn't actually use the word autism anywhere in the episode, but I haven't seen every episode he's in. Also, not really a complaint, but I thought it would have been funny if Bruno had a special interest in humans, considering the whole autistic people being obsessed with trains stereotype. But I also don't know if there are any humans in Thomas and Friends, so it's whatever, I guess. So overall, I thought Bruno was very good representation. There's a lot of aspects to his character that I like, but I especially like just how involved actual autistic people were in the creation of this character. It really goes a long way in making good representation. But what did you think? Have you seen it? Did you like the character? Do you agree with or disagree with anything that I said? Let me know in the comments down below. Until next time, goodbye!